Um, for those of you that don't know Roger's a percussion caption head here at Bluecoats. Um, like I mentioned at the beginning of today, I remember watching, even for me at the time, it was VHS tapes that my percussion director would put in. Like I would see Roger, tapping off the Blue Devils snare line. So certainly a legend for even me when I was in high school drumline. And it's pretty great to get to work with him on a day-to-day basis. He's certainly one of the best percussion educators there are around. Um, so he doesn't need much more introduction than that. Although, just before we get started, I want to make sure everyone was able to get to that Dropbox link. Can you get in the chat and let me and Roger know if you have any issues with that? It's in the School of the Arts interface just below this lesson. You can click it, and there's a Dropbox link. When I'm done here, I'll put it in the chat too, so you all have it. So without further ado, you guys don't want to hear from me. I'll let you hear from Roger. Here's Roger Carter.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining the breakout session here. I'm really excited to be working with all of you. I recognize a few of you here, and some of you seen for the first time. Like Mike has been saying and everybody's been saying, this is our first time hosting one of these virtual events like this live, and thanks for being here and joining us with it. So I have made available a Dropbox link with kind of a mix of stuff. Most of it is from the 2020 audition packet that we used for this past season, and I threw in a couple extra little bonus things in here. But like this is going to be the advanced session, so we're going to kind of go over things that we might do in the line. So there's going to be some certain I'm going to take a few things for granted that you know how to hold the stick, and you've played some form of 8-on-a-hand before. Maybe you know how to play a double stroke roll, and a few things that I want to try to build off of after that. So the first thing I wanted to start with was kind of an advanced form of 8-on-a-hand that I like to do with the Bluecoats, and I've done with some other lines in the past. The time signature is pretty wacky there, hence the name Crazy Eights. 1916, right? So we're gonna count that. I still like to use a 4/4 type of counting. So whereas the first 8 eighth notes, I'm gonna count as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So those are those first 8 notes, but then you'll see that the 9th and 10th notes there is another 8th note and a 16th. So that would be 17, 19, 1. I like to just say da da da. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da da da. And then the left hand does the same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da da da. But what makes this maybe even more complicated is you'll see that bottom line there, the click. Right, so the click is going to go over the bar line. Right, so I've got my click here at 90, and I'm going to put on some 16th note subdivisions because we're going to actually be, in some ways, gridding the metronome by after we play the first measure here. Now the downbeat is here. It's on the of the click, or if the click was to continue. So you'll see the second measure, that click is now on the E if we were to take it from the perspective of the 1916 measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, so the click essentially grids. It goes from the downbeat, the E, the and the over the first 4 measures before finally resolving rhythmically, so to speak, to the downbeat on that 11/16 bar. Okay, so if you take it out of context of the met and you just think of what the hands are doing, you're basically playing 10 notes on a hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But that 10th note is a 16th note, 10-1. All right, so I like to count it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da da 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da da 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da da 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da da da. So let's play that all together. Make sure your camera's on mute or your microphone. And we're just going to play that with no metronome and just kind of thinking about that 1916 in terms of 9 eighth notes, a 10th note being a 16th note, and then quickly jumping over to the left hand and doing the same thing. We're going to do those first 4 bars. So make sure you have a good stick position and that you're holding your sticks with a nice solid fulcrum, and you have the beads of the sticks close together in the middle of the head, right? We don't want any misshapen angles or anything like that. We want to try to balance it, you know. And here at the Bluecoats, we play traditional grip with the snare. Certainly, though, there is nothing wrong with a matched grip. Just make sure that the right hand and the left hands are symmetrical. I like to use what is called an American grip, where the stick will come out to the side slightly, but it's not like a German grip that you might use in an orchestra or a French grip that we might use with timpani. It's kind of a combination of those two in that it's an American grip. And of course, now the left hand is going to go to a traditional and sort of match that angle. Okay, so here we go. We're going to play the first 4 measures of Crazy Eights. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da da 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da da 1